Hey there everyone, we're taking another look at the forecast for this weekend across the high plains. Thought I'd kind of break things down a little further for some of you people that are interested in knowing a little bit more about how we're doing things. Right now we're looking at the wrap, and now this is at 300 millibars or so, and this is pretty fair ways up there in the atmosphere. And basically what we're looking at is, in essence, kind of the jet stream here. And what we're looking for is the direction of the winds aloft, because that's going to steer a lot of the weather that's headed our direction. And as you see this guy, it kind of comes in through here, then down into the southwest, and then right across the high plains. In fact, here we are right there or so. And as we set this guy into motion, notice this dip back here. That's in. This is the area of low pressure that we're watching, and notice how that dip slowly migrates our direction over the next couple of days before, well, of course, it resets at 60 hours and sends it on back to the west. But if we go back and we kind of drag that guy back, you can see how it kind of pushes itself across the area. And again, here we are across the high plains. So what are we looking at as we head through this weekend? Well, let's head on over to the Texas Tech Wharf and notice that, let's clear this guy out, there we go. Notice that as we look at this, we've got some pretty cool air. Now this is, here we go, a 21Z, right there. Sunday, April 14th, we've got Saturday right there. There we go, there's Saturday. And temperatures, 40s, 50s, 60s, yeah, there's even a couple 40s in here, no joke, folks. But as we move through the next couple of days, the reason that it's going to be so chilly, there's some of those 40s right there as well, is, folks, we're going to have a little bit of rain in the area. Yes, just honest to goodness rain. And in fact, as we run this guy back, here we are this afternoon, Friday afternoon and into evening, but as we head through the day on Saturday, here we are at about 8 o'clock or so. You can see we do have some showers down off to our south, and these guys will be zipping on off to the north and east. But as we kind of set this guy into motion, here we are about just after lunchtime or so, and we've got a pretty good swath of showers drifting all the way from southeastern Colorado down across the high plains and into parts of north and northwest Texas. Just rain as well. You notice there is some yellow in here. Yeah, you might get some rumbles of thunder and perhaps even some small hail. We'll get to that. In fact, right now, we'll flip it over here, and this is a look at how much shear we have in the atmosphere. Shear, again, that's the spin that we have, and oftentimes we look at shear when we're talking about severe thunderstorms, that along with CAPE values, helicity, the whole slew of things. In this round of precip that we have, with this next system rolling through, there's no real CAPE that we have to worry about, not a lot of instability in the atmosphere, so what we're watching is the shear values over the next couple of days, because this is going to tell us where there's enough rotation in the atmosphere. We might be able to get some small hail, and really that's about it. And all we've got is shear values good enough for a little bit of hail just off to the south of Amarillo, some of our southern and southeastern Canada. But really, that's about it. That's all we're looking at. And really, that's kind of a stretch. For the most part, I've got a feeling this is just going to be good old-fashioned rain in here, folks. Even as we set this guy into motion further, we clear things out into the afternoon, but here comes round two. Now this is, let's clear that out. This is round two over here, folks, and as this it kind of skates across the high plain, notice how it kind of falls apart. But then we've got round three back behind. By the way, look at just all this moisture for the rest of Texas. But then we've got round three that slides across the area. Here's round three right there, and this is Sunday afternoon. And by the time we get into late Sunday, this is about where the model ends, we've got kind of a line of showers and thunderstorms that it suggests pushing across the high plains. Notice the winds back out of the north, out here, winds out of the southeast, out ahead of it. That's how we know that it's a next cold front sliding through, and this is where we might see some stronger storms. So we go back and look at the shear values here as we head into Sunday afternoon. Notice, though, I'm going to slide this guy over a little bit. Notice not much shear out there for these guys to work with. there is the early indication that we could have some instability in some of our southwestern counties, but notice that that doesn't necessarily line up with where these showers and storms are. So I don't know if there's definitely a concern for any severe weather as we move through Saturday and Sunday, but maybe some stronger storms in here. But again, like we always say, we'll keep a close eye on this. But what we're also watching is kind of the setup. How did we end up in this situation with an opportunity for a couple of showers and maybe a thunderstorm? Well, for those of you interested, we're taking a look at relative vorticity here. We're at 500 millibars, and what we're looking for here is anywhere that we can find maybe some reds, some lighter greens in here, and more importantly, kind of a swath of green at the base of one of these troughs, or out ahead of it. That's where we're watching for the opportunity for some oomph in the atmosphere. That's what we need. We need some vorticity to get things moving. And with this guy, it doesn't look like we've got a whole bunch of it. You know, as we kind of slide on over and look at vertical velocity. Recall in our video just a day ago, we were talking about vertical velocities out here in parts of Missouri and Arkansas that were looking pretty good. That's the other oomph we need in the atmosphere to really get things going. And we were saying, golly, there's a lot. And they saw plenty of severe weather. So what does it look like for us? Well, here we are, and this is the NAM at about 27 hours out. So this is as we move through the day, Saturday afternoon. And there's just really not much across the high plains for us to work with in terms of vertical velocity. Even as we kind of set this, I'm going to roll up here. I'm going to go 3 hours ahead. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go 24 hours ahead. I'm going to go all the way into Sunday, and we'll take a look at this and see what we've got going on. Now, again, this is 51 hours out, and if we look up here, this is 21Z on Sunday afternoon. This is in the afternoon, about 3, 4, 5 o'clock or so. Notice still not very much, although we do have this little batch down here. And we'll talk about that coming up here in a second. But notice that really not much for any of this to work with. So let's take a look. What are we talking about in terms of strong or severe storms? How about just rain? Now this is the NAM. This is not the Texas Tech Wharf. That's what we were just looking at. But look, this is the NAM, and then you compare that to the Texas Tech Wharf as we can run this guy back quite a ways. Here we are at 21Z on Saturday. What were we looking at here? Let's go back over here. This is the wrap at 18 hours. So this is in the morning on Saturday, as according to the wrap. But we're going to close that. We're going to look at the NAM, the 21-hour forecast. This would be in the morning. And again, a pretty good swath of just rain. Notice no yellows in here. If we bring it back over to the Texas Tech Wharf, we can kind of take a look at what it looks like into the afternoon. That's in the afternoon. What does it look like in the morning? Here we are at 12Z. Not much out there. Twister data, we roll over here, 12Z. They got a little bit into the afternoon, a little bit more, but notice how everything kind of slides off to the north. There's a line here that kind of carves back, and here we are in Amarillo, and it's sitting right there or so, right on the fence. There's also a little bit of yellow up here. That's not severe weather that we're talking about, folks. That is just some heavier rain, more moderate rainfall. And then as we head into the afternoon, all of it lifts on north, but even the NAM calling for kind of a second shot of maybe some more moisture across the high plains, which is good for us because, we'll take all the moisture we can get. But let's take a look. I want to zoom on forward into Sunday for round 2 from the NAM, see if it's saying the same thing. And it is. It is kind of bringing these showers and storms down off to the south while everything else kind of lifts off to the east, giving us another opportunity for round 2 of some storms. And how much rain are we talking about? We'll take it over to the SREF. So we've shown you the wrap, we've shown you the Texas Tech Wharf, then we went over to the NAM, now we're looking at the SREF. Again, there's a lot of models that we like to look at when we're talking about forecasting the weather pretty much anywhere you go, but specifically across the high plains because things are so dynamic for us. But take a look at what happens here. Now, I don't know if you guys can make this out very well, but here we are sitting at 12Z tomorrow morning. That's when a lot of the other models were suggesting, hey, that's when the rain's going to pick up. But notice it doesn't pick up until about 15Z or so, right in here. And then, boy, does it shoot off. Some of these models suggesting anywhere from 4/10 up to 8/10 up to an inch of total precip by the time we get through Sunday afternoon. Hey, we'll take all the rain we can get if we can. But notice the spread in here. I mean, we're anywhere from an inch by the time things are kind of all settled down to nothing. Just nothing. It's saying no rain at all. Everything pushes off to the east, and here in town we are high and dry. So that's what we're looking at over the next couple of days. That's the range that we're looking at in town. It could miss us, slide all the way to the east. Amarillo's high and dry, or we could end up with an inch of rain here in town. So far the forecast calls for about 1/10 to 2/10 given all of this information. Hope this was helpful and helps you understand what the forecast is looking like this weekend, and maybe it gives you a better opportunity to understand whether to pack your umbrella or not.